Welcome to my channel. World Scene News. Subscribe to my channel for news updates all around the world. As the last American aircraft lifted off from Kabul in August 2021, a chapter spanning 2 decades came to a dramatic close. The world watched as the final traces of Western military presence vanished into the night sky, leaving behind a nation at a crossroads. For many Afghans, the departure marked the end of an era defined by conflict, foreign intervention, and hopes for democracy that often seemed just out of reach. Afghanistan's future was suddenly thrown into deep uncertainty. Streets once bustling with activity grew quiet as families wondered what the next day would bring. Shops closed their doors, and a sense of anxiety settled over the cities and villages alike. The dreams and fears of millions hung in the balance, as the world questioned what would come next for this war-torn land. The era of Western intervention had ended, and in its place, a new chapter began, one led by regional powers with their own ambitions and interests. Countries like China, Pakistan, and the Central Asian republics saw opportunity where others saw risk, stepping forward to fill the vacuum left by the West. Today, Afghanistan's story is shifting away from the headlines of war and violence and toward a new narrative of economic pragmatism and infrastructure development. Across the rugged landscapes, new roads and railways are being planned and built, promising to connect Afghanistan to its neighbors and the wider world. China has stepped in, not with soldiers or weapons, but with investment, expertise, and ambitious blueprints. Its vision is to weave Afghanistan into its vast Belt and Road Initiative, transforming the country into a vital link in global trade networks. For Afghanistan, this could mean new jobs, modern infrastructure, and a chance to move beyond decades of isolation. The Taliban, now the country's rulers, are seeking desperately needed economic lifelines and international legitimacy. In China, they have found a partner more interested in commerce than ideology, a nation willing to invest in Afghanistan's future if it means stability and access to resources. Ambitious projects like the Trans-Afghan Railway are now on the horizon, promising to revive the economy, create jobs, and reshape the region's trade routes. These initiatives could turn Afghanistan from a landlocked nation into a crossroads of commerce. For the first time in a generation, Afghanistan's future is being shaped not by the sounds of conflict, but by the promise of economic connectivity and regional cooperation. The dawn of a new Afghan era has begun, and its outcome will depend on the choices made today. The U.S. strategy in Afghanistan was built on the belief that military force and nation-building could transform the country. Trillions were spent, armies trained, and institutions built, but the approach was plagued by corruption, cultural disconnect, and a focus on centralization that clashed with Afghan realities. Aid often benefited a small elite, while the broader economy stagnated. The collapse of the Afghan government in 2021 was a stark verdict. Military power alone cannot create stability or legitimacy. The American experience revealed the limits of intervention and the necessity of local economic hope. Afghanistan's story became a lesson in the failure of force without a foundation of genuine political and economic vision. In the wake of America's exit, Afghanistan's landscape is marked by the remnants of a military era, empty bases and rusting vehicles, silent witnesses to a turbulent past. But as the dust settles, a new chapter is being written, not with soldiers and weapons, but with steel rails and commercial ambition. China is advancing a vision built on economic corridors, not military bases. Instead of projecting power through force, Beijing is laying down tracks and forging connections, seeking to transform Afghanistan from a battleground into a vital artery of regional commerce. Engineers and investors are replacing soldiers, bringing blueprints and capital where once there were only boots on the ground. These new actors are focused on building, not occupying, on creating opportunities for trade, jobs, and growth. At the heart of China's Belt and Road Initiative are massive infrastructure projects, railways, highways, and energy pipelines that promise to knit Afghanistan more closely to its neighbors and the world beyond. The launch of freight trains from Xinjiang to northern Afghanistan signals China's intent to make Afghanistan a land bridge for regional trade. These trains carry not just goods, but the hope of economic revival for a country long isolated by conflict. The ambitious Trans-Afghan Railway, connecting Uzbekistan to Pakistan through Afghanistan, could transform ancient trade routes into modern supply chains, slashing transportation costs and opening new markets for Afghan products. China's resource deals, including oil and lithium, offer the Taliban government much-needed revenue streams. These agreements are more than transactions. They are lifelines for Afghanistan's struggling economy. In return, China secures access to critical materials for its industries, fueling its own technological ambitions while integrating Afghanistan into global supply networks. Beijing's approach is pragmatic: engage economically, sidestep political quagmires, and focus on mutual benefit. By prioritizing commerce over confrontation, China hopes to foster stability where others have failed. The ripple effects are already visible in Afghan markets, where new goods and opportunities are beginning to emerge, and local entrepreneurs are finding fresh avenues for growth. By granting market access and aid, without political strings, China is embedding itself in Afghanistan's future, building relationships based on trade and development rather than ideology or military alliances. The blueprint is clear: use commerce to build stability from the ground up, forging a new path for Afghanistan, one defined by steel, commerce, and the promise of prosperity. Afghanistan's ancient Silk Road legacy is being revived, but this time, it's not camel caravans that traverse the rugged terrain, it's steel rails and powerful locomotives. For centuries, Afghanistan was a vital link between East and West, a place where traders, ideas, and cultures converged. Today, that legacy is being reimagined for the 21st century, as new infrastructure projects aim to reconnect Afghanistan with its neighbors and the wider world. The construction of modern railways promises to transform Afghanistan from an isolated, landlocked nation into a vital crossroads at the heart of Eurasia. These new rail lines are more than just transportation. They represent hope for economic revival, regional integration, and a new era of connectivity. The ambitious eastern route, linking Uzbekistan to Pakistan through Afghanistan, could give Central Asian countries direct access to the Arabian Sea for the first time. This would dramatically reduce transit times and shipping costs, opening up new markets and opportunities for trade across the region. Meanwhile, competing routes like the Western Line from Turkmenistan are also in development, spurring investment and healthy competition. These parallel projects encourage innovation and ensure that Afghanistan remains a key player in the evolving landscape of Eurasian trade. All of these initiatives are closely linked with China's ambitious economic corridors, such as the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, which connect Afghanistan to the deep-water port of Gwadar and beyond. This integration could make Afghanistan a crucial node in global supply chains. As a result, Afghanistan stands to benefit not only from transit fees but also from the development of logistics hubs and new industries. These changes could create jobs, boost local economies, and position Afghanistan as a linchpin in regional trade networks. This transformation is about more than just economics. It's a profound geopolitical shift. Afghanistan's role is being redefined, from a battleground of conflict to a bridge of cooperation, linking diverse nations and peoples. Today, the steel tracks that cross Afghanistan's mountains and valleys carry not just goods, but the promise of regional cooperation, stability, and shared prosperity for generations to come. China isn't alone in eyeing Afghanistan's transit potential. Russia is pivoting south, seeking new trade routes amid Western sanctions. The Trans-Afghan Railway is now central to Moscow's strategy, linking its own north-south transport corridor to South Asia. Russian and Taliban officials have discussed these projects, reflecting a new era of pragmatic cooperation. Central Asian republics, eager to escape landlocked constraints, are also championing these routes for greater autonomy. Multiple corridors, Uzbek, Turkmen, Russian, create both competition and opportunity, driving efficiency and investment. While rivalries exist, the shared goal of connectivity unites diverse nations. Afghanistan sits at the center of this emerging network, its geography now an asset. The region's future is being shaped by economic partnerships, not old rivalries. For the Taliban, railways are a lifeline, key to survival, legitimacy, and economic stability. Isolated and cash-strapped, the regime sees transit fees and customs as sustainable revenue sources. Deputy PM Baradar champions these projects, engaging China, Uzbekistan, and Russia to push them forward. Each contract and completed track strengthens the Taliban's claim to governance and international engagement. By diversifying trade routes, the Taliban reduces dependence on Pakistan and gains strategic flexibility. Their gamble transforms Afghanistan from insurgency to indispensable regional hub. China's ambitions in Afghanistan are tempered by deep security concerns. The Wakhan corridor, bordering Xinjiang, is a potential conduit for instability and extremism. Beijing demands Taliban assurances against harboring groups like the Turkestan Islamic Party, but threats from ISKP persist. Attacks on Chinese nationals have made Beijing cautious, slowing investment until security is proven. China supports the Taliban with surveillance tech and regional diplomacy, but every project is weighed against risk. The approach is calculated. Invest for stability, but never at the expense of security. China walks a tightrope, balancing opportunity with Afghanistan's chronic volatility. The US and China offer starkly different models for Afghanistan's future. America wielded the sword, military intervention and nation-building, hoping security would lead to prosperity. The result was a dependent, fragile state that collapsed when external support vanished. China, by contrast, wields commerce, building railways, extracting resources, and embedding itself through trade. Its approach is transactional, focused on economic interdependence rather than political transformation. While America sought to vanquish enemies, China seeks to create partners through shared economic interests. Afghanistan is now the proving ground for which strategy better suits the complexities of the 21st century. Afghanistan's recent history offers hard lessons about power, intervention, and the limits of force. The US experience proved that stability cannot be imposed, it must be built from within, with local legitimacy and economic hope. China's approach, while not without risks, shows the potential of economic statecraft over military might. Regional players now hold the keys to Afghanistan's future, with railways creating a web of shared interests. This messy, regional-led experiment may prove more resilient than distant interventions. The world must adapt, learning that peace may come not from armies, but from commerce and connection. Afghanistan's steel tracks may not lead to perfect democracy, but they could pave the way to stability and prosperity.